Welcome back to the Sellware Getting Started series. In this installment, we're going to be going through setting up and linking your channels. Those could be things like your e-commerce platform, your various marketplaces like Walmart, eBay, Amazon, or other channels, as well as some basic navigation and Sellware terminology and overview to get you familiar with the system. Once you have all of your channels linked, then you go through the process of setting up listings and creating listings. But in this installment, it's going to be a general overview, what you should expect to see as you set things up, and some tips to getting things set up to best optimize your channels. So let's get started. So for those of you that do not have your trial account set up yet, you can go to my.sellware.com/central/go/signup. I know that's long. We'll create a hyperlink for this video that you can click on to get started, or just visit our sellware.com page and look for the features link, and you can sign up there for your free trial. Once you fill that email address out, it is going to send you an email notification just to confirm that that is a real account there. You click on the link. That will ask you for some high-level information, your name, a phone number. If you can use a phone number that we can reach you on in case we need to have a conversation about your account, or how do you set that up optimally, that would be fantastic. And then set up your password. Once you set that up, you will be taken into Sellware. And the first thing we're going to ask you to do is to connect your channels. So channels are there are various new terms that you're going to hear today. So we have channels, we have marketplaces, we have primary channels, we have linked channels. And so let's go over to here where we have a brief summary of a primary channel versus a linked channel. Primary channel is what is going to become the driver of your system. If you're using an ERP package, that will typically be your primary channel. If you're using an e-commerce package, that may be your primary channel. Or some folks want to set up their Sellware account to be their primary channel. But think of primary channel as being the hub where you're going to have your inventory numbers centralized, product description information centralized, maybe your pricing or tiered pricing structures centralized, and then pushed out to all of your linked channels like your marketplaces. So a primary channel will either be or typically be an ERP account, an e-commerce platform, or Sellware, and a link channel will be an eBay account, an Amazon account, a Walmart account. So 10,000 feet, that's what we're talking about when we mention setting up a channel. So if you were to set up your eBay channel here, it's going to ask you for your eBay user ID. So go ahead and type that information in to sign into your account. Once you log into your account, it's going to ask for us to be provided access to your account. That just will allow us to pull down information like your listing information, orders, and then also be able to push information like orders, data, pricing, descriptions, images, etc. So agree to that and your eBay will be connected. Again, if you get lost, that is under your account and channel settings tab. So let's now add an Amazon account. So add the Amazon account. We do support the international accounts as well. For here, we'll just set up the US account. You'll need to log into your Amazon account and click on Developer Amazon Services, sign up for MWS, and put this information into your account. That will give us access to be able to push and pull orders as well as listing information. So we will need you to fill out the seller ID and token. At that point, we have those set up, and let's go ahead and add Shopify as a primary channel. So type in your store name here, verify the connection. That will take you to your account where you'll log in, and that will add Sellware as a plugin to your Shopify account. Or in some cases, if you're running Magento, we'll need to talk with you to get that set up via an extension. Or NetSuite will need some different credentials. But when you get to that stage, certainly give us a call and we can help you get that set up. So at this point, we've connected a couple of eBay channels and a Shopify channel. So let's take a look at the eBay channel and a couple of the settings that, as a linked channel, you'll want to be aware of. So give the eBay channel a name, set it up as a linked channel. One thing to take note of, if you're new to Sellware, initially let's set stock control off. What that'll do is make sure that we're not overwriting any information while we sort out which should be your primary channel, your correct inventory levels, things like that. If you put stock control on, you could inadvertently, if you have one item that's not on your primary channel, for example, you've been running an independent eBay channel for a while, you could inadvertently just turn off existing listings. Maximum stock to list can give you a nice feature. So let's say you have 100 in stock, but you know on eBay that things tend to sell better when folks think there are only 2 or 3 left in stock. You can set that to 2 or 3, and despite the fact that you have 100 items, only 2 or 3 of those will be listed, whatever you set there, and as the orders go through, it'll continually be replenished back to 3. Price control, that gives you the ability to turn off price control. If you're using a repricing engine of some sort, that could be an advantage to you. And we can also do channel level price adjustments. So on eBay or Amazon, if you wanted to mark up everything, say 25% to account for transaction costs, you could do that, or you could set that same threshold on an item by item level. This just gives you a nice quick way to mark things up in the beginning setup period of your account. So once you have all of those channels connected, within a few moments, you should see under your catalog, within a few moments, you should start to see your items begin to get pulled down from your primary channel. You'll also begin to see things like these icons appear. If you have the same SKU connected to an eBay or Amazon account, you'll begin to see those icons show up as well. That's a visual representation that you have the item in your primary channel and it is linked to this particular marketplace, in this case eBay. So at this point we have gotten started with your trial account setup. We've connected a few marketplaces and channels. We've talked about primary versus linked channels, and we're about to dive into product data and creating some listings. So I'm going to go switch over to a different account and we can see how this works in the real world. So we're going to jump into a demo account here that has eBay, SKU Vault, Amazon, Shopify connected. We'll go to the catalog. And for those of you that are in your trial accounts, you're probably following along with me as well real time. Usually what I'll do until you're familiar with the system setup, we'll click on these images here. That'll turn on the images. Not every item here has an image, as you'll note. For example, in Amazon, if you're listing by ASINs, you don't need to push an image. It uses an existing ASIN image. But nonetheless, so by clicking here, that will turn on the images for you. Basically here, we're showing that it's connected to eBay, Amazon, and Shopify. If I clicked on this blue box, it's going to take me to the actual listings where those can be found. And from here, I could be taken directly to the listing on eBay or Amazon. Going back to the beginning of the catalog, the product detail data that we were talking about earlier, that can be found here. That's where you could set things like product descriptions, titles, currencies, dimensions, costs, lengths, widths, UPC codes, ASIN codes, and quantities. Images are here. Any custom fields that are created are going to be here. Any variations could be set up here or pulled down from your primary channel. And any links to the other channels in which you would want to have different data. So if you wanted to have a completely different title in eBay than you did on your Shopify site, you could update that here. If you leave this blank, by default, we're only going to pull what is in your traditional description. And the same thing with Amazon. If we talked about earlier, you wanted the ability to override the price on this particular channel, you could do that here by saying things like plus $5. That would add $5 to the marketplace price when pushing to Amazon. So you'll note here, you could change your descriptions if you were not originating, if you were originating a listing versus tying to an ASIN. Here's where you select your product types, item keyword types, ASIN if you have an ASIN, item conditions. We can do pricing overrides, things like map pricing, floor pricing, any bullet points that you would want to add, and any keywords. We also support Amazon shipping groups if you're using those as well. If you're new to selling on Amazon, this probably makes no sense whatsoever. So I would highly recommend you dig into your Seller Central account, walk through some of their videos on getting started, because it is a daunting task for a brand new seller to try and originate a lot of this information through Sellware, just because of the way Amazon does their taxonomy and classifications. Same thing with eBay. We support all of the eBay variations for pricing, auctions. We also support stored categories or searching for a particular category. So if you were selling, video games, you could type that in here. Or if you knew the video game code, what's 12345, you could type it in there. Again, if you're new to selling on eBay, that probably didn't make sense either. But dig into your eBay account and watch some of their videos, and it will become pretty clear after you've done 1 or 2 listings from within the eBay console. So if you did want to override any of the pricing information, again, plus $5, minus $5, whatever that might look like, you could do it here. So for this particular setup, we have a variety of images, a variety of marketplaces that are set up. You can see the inventory quantities here. This icon here is just letting me know that 6 have been ordered within the last period and have not yet been shipped, so a nice visual indicator of what's going on. You can also sort and filter with the tools up here to just take a quick look through any items that you may be running the risk of running out of stock on. Again, all of this is coming from your primary channel, so you could change that here as well. This is just giving you a snapshot view. So that's the product grid. You could also filter for just things that are going to go on the Xbox and that are a price greater than $25. Okay, so those are your $25 and higher prices for the Xbox. So let's go into the listings grid. The listings grid shows you all of your current listings by marketplace. So if you wanted to see all of your Amazon listings, you could do that here. If you wanted to see all your eBay listings, you could do that here. And again, that hyperlink would take you directly to the listing. The template concept allows you to, we'll go into that in just a moment, but it allows you to specify some high-level macro information about your listing. So if you do typically free shipping for everything, you may have a free shipping listing. If you have some very heavy items that need to be processed differently, you may have a heavy item template. If you wanted to have certain items marked up a higher percentage, you could create a template for that. So usually there's a little bit of art and a little bit of science to getting those listings squared away. Once you create a few, we'll help you with those initial ones if you need help. You'll probably get the hang of it, take a step back, run the listings for a few days, and then come back and figure out how to make them better. So that makes a good transition point for us to move into the creation of listing templates as well as generating listings. What we've covered so far is the basic channel setup in terms of your e-commerce channels, your marketplaces, and how you can see that data inside of Sellware, navigate Sellware, and make sure your account is set up properly. So we'll move on to creating a listing template, generating some listings on eBay and Amazon, and get you familiar with a few of the different ways that you can do that. So feel free to reach out to us via email or chat if you have any questions, or you can contact us at our 800 number here, 1-800-928-6756, and we'll see you back in the next installment.